Top 10 amazing reasons why the earth is not spinning. Watch and subscribe.
Reasons number 1. The horizon always appears perfectly flat, except in NASA and other government pictures, which are obviously faked, as part of the global conspiracy. You never have to look down to see the horizon, no matter how hard you rise. If Earth were a real globe, you'd have to look down. Reasons number 2. There are rivers that flow for hundreds of miles towards the level of the sea without falling more than a few feet, notably, the Nile, which, in 1,000 miles, falls but a foot. A level expanse of this extent is quite incompatible with the idea of the Earth's convexity. It is, therefore, a reasonable proof that Earth is not a globe. Reasons number 3. Whenever experiments have been tried on the surface of standing water, this surface has always been found to be level. If the Earth were a globe, the surface of all standing water would be convex. This is an experimental proof that Earth is not a globe. Reasons number 4. If we stand on the sands of the seashore and watch a ship approach us, we shall find that she will apparently rise, to the extent, of her own height, nothing more. If we stand upon an eminence, the same law operates still, and it is but the law of perspective, which causes objects, as they approach us, to appear to increase in size until we see them, close to us, the size they are in fact. That there is no other rise than the one spoken of is plain from the fact that, no matter how high we ascend above the level of the sea, the horizon rises on and still on as we rise, so that it is always on a level with the eye, though it be 200 miles away, as seen by Mr. J. Glaisher, of England, from Mr. Coxwell's balloon. So that a ship 5 miles away may be imagined to be coming up the imaginary downward curve of the Earth's surface. But if we merely ascend a hill such as Federal Hill, Baltimore, we may see 25 miles away, on a level with the eye, that is, 20 miles level distance beyond the ship that we vainly imagined to be rounding the curve, and coming up. This is a plain proof that the Earth is not a globe. Reasons number 5. If Earth really was spherical, helicopters would be able to hover in place and wait for their destinations to come to them. Reasons number 6. Why don't satellites cross in front of the moon? This professor that the Earth is not a globe. Reasons number 7. If the Earth were a globe, it would certainly have to be as large as it is said to be, 25,000 miles in circumference. Now, the thing which I have called a proof of the earth's roundness, and which is presented to children at school, is, that if we stand on the seashore we may see the ships, as they approach us, absolutely coming up, and that, as we are able to see the highest parts of these ships first, it is because the lower parts are behind the earth's curve. Now since if this were the case, that is, if the lower parts of these ships were behind a hill of water, the size of the earth, indicated by such a curve as this, would be so small that it would only be big enough to hold the people of a parish, if they could get all round it, instead of the nations of the world. It follows that the idea is preposterous, that the appearance is due to another and to some reasonable cause, and that, instead of being a proof of the globular form of the earth, it is a proof that earth is not a globe.
Hello, flat earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Those clouds on the horizon are a perfect example of how perspective is what we see and not curvature. We don't see the bottoms of the clouds hitting the horizon, we see the edges of the clouds hitting them. They are probably about the same height as the clouds closer to us, but because they're further away, they're closer to the horizon. It's as simple as that. Thank you very much.
Reasons number 8. The London and Northwestern Railway forms a straight line 180 miles long between London and Liverpool. The railroad's highest point, midway at Birmingham Station, is only 240 feet above sea level. If the world were actually a globe, however, curving 8 inches per mile squared, the 180-mile stretch of rail would form an arc with the center point at Birmingham raising a full 5,400 feet above London and Liverpool. Adding the station's actual height, 240 feet, to its theoretical inclination, 5,400 feet, gives 5,640 feet as the rail's necessary height on a globe Earth, more than 1,000 feet taller than Ben Nevis, the tallest mountain in Great Britain. Reasons number 9. We have abundance of evidence that the sun moves daily round and over the earth in circles concentric with the northern region over which hangs the North Star, but, since the theory of the earth being a globe is necessarily connected with the theory of its motion round the sun in a yearly orbit, it falls to the ground when we bring forward the evidence of which we speak, and, in so doing, forms a proof that the earth is not a globe. Reasons number 10. We read in the inspired book, or collection of books, called the Bible, nothing at all about the earth being a globe or a planet, from beginning to end, but hundreds of allusions there are in its pages which could not be made if the earth were a globe, and which are, therefore, said by the astronomer to be absurd and contrary to what he knows to be true. This is the groundwork of modern infidelity. But, since every one of many allusions to the earth and the heavenly bodies in the scriptures can be demonstrated to be absolutely true to nature, and we read of the earth being stretched out above the waters, as standing in the water and out of the water, of its being established that it cannot be moved, we have a store from which to take all the proofs we need, but we will just put down one proof, The scriptural proof, that Earth is not a globe,